If you're stuck at high body fat percentage and low muscle mass and you're desperately trying to fix this, this is for you. And honestly, this is all it takes to fix a skinny fat physique. Now, as always, I like to be straight and to the point with these kind of videos to cut through all the noise, because the fitness industry is just full of lies, deception, people making things up to sound interesting to get attention. And quite frankly, if you're skinny fat, you're probably thinking, well, maybe I need to go on a cut and lose the fat first, but then I might lose muscle and it might make me look smaller and be in a smaller version of skinny fat. But then the other alternative is to go onto a bulk where you might gain body fat and not as much muscle as you think. And if you've already got body fat you dislike, like the moobs, the lower back, the belly, then a bulk is probably the last thing you should be doing. So it kind of leaves you in this purgatory of fitness of what should I do? And if you go on YouTube or you ask ChatGPT, you're going to get a plethora of different things and you might get lost. And quite frankly, if you don't know what to do, you're going to procrastinate. Clarity creates direction and overwhelm creates paralysis by analysis. So I'm going to break down the main key components that you need to fix skinny fat in this video. And I'm just going to keep it really simple. Now you're probably thinking, well, what's the best workout plan? What's the best meal plan? And although those things are still very important because we need structure and we need clarity on what to do, before we even think about that, we need to address the elephant in the room. Your mum. I'm joking. The elephant in the room is everything that you want to do physically is mental. It's a decision to eat better. It's a decision to go to the gym. What do you do when you lose motivation? What do you do when it's not working? What do you do when progress is slow? All these things will kill motivation. And if you don't have motivation, you're probably not going to want to go do it. And if you rely on motivation, you're going to constantly stop and start because motivation will come and go because it is an emotion. So we don't fix the psychological foundation, we're never going to get anywhere. I could give you the best meal plan in the world and the best training plan in the world, which doesn't really exist. But if you can't stick to it longer than a week, it's useless. And the reason you can't stick to it longer than a week, apart from the fact it's probably a bit too much to balance with a lifestyle, is the mental side of it. So before you start looking at what calories to hit and what training to follow, be very, very honest with yourself. Where are you going wrong? Because you probably already know. Are you getting to the weekends and falling off your diet and binge eating? Are you having too many cheat days? Are you skipping the gym because it's not convenient and you're not feeling motivated, or what everyone else says, like, oh, I don't need to train legs, I cycle and walk everywhere, which I honestly used to say. Or are you sticking to a plan and then getting bored of it and then switching it up and trying another plan and realizing that you're just jumping from plan to plan and ultimately getting nowhere? These are the foundations. Because if I just go, hey, look, do pull push legs and track your calories, you're going to click through and go, yeah, that's boring. I already know that, mate. What's the real secret? How can I really fix skinny fat? We'll stick to that. Stick to the basics because it does work. Now, of course, you need to be more precise, which I will get to in just a moment, but that's why I talk about the mentality first. I've had clients come in and say, look, I've been training for 10 years. I've been doing things right for 10 years and I'm not getting anywhere. So for them, it really is as simple as tweaking the basics, getting the numbers right, and then just keeping them accountable and adjusting with it. That's what we did with my client, Avi. He already knew what to do. He was already in the gym training. He already had a decent physique to start with, but he was still a bit skinny, still had some stubborn body fat, and he wasn't sure what to do. And he was the age-old picture of the jumping from cups and bulks in that bro cycle. So he was already proactive, he was already in the gym, so he did need a custom strategy, but also having the accountability to stick to it when it gets boring, stick to it when it's slow, and overcome all those social and life hurdles that get in the way that make things a little bit more difficult. He actually had 3 variations of his workout plan because he's so busy. So that's an example of someone that's already doing the work, they just need a bit more direction. Whereas my client Reese, this is very different. He kind of went to the gym casually, didn't really feel motivated, didn't really know what to eat, kept falling off on the weekends, would drink too many ciders. He even had a personal trainer, but realized that just having someone count his reps for 45 minutes wasn't really getting him any results because his personal trainer just did the basic stuff. He said, right, let's go 10-minute warm up on the treadmill. We'll do 45 minutes on machines or whatever's available, or do little circuits and jump around on box jumps to get a sweat going on, and then a little cool down. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but it's not going to fix a skinny fat physique. What Reese needed was a bit more direction, but also the accountability and support to mentally manage it around his week. So to do this, we tracked his calories, we tracked his workouts, we adjusted them weekly, we had a weekly check-in, we looked at his weigh-ins, his photos, all the boring stuff basically, so that we had the data to adjust. So he was learning what worked for him. He was able to be adaptive around his schedule, but because he had that accountability, that structure and clarity on what to follow, it was much easier for him to just stick to it. So if you find that you're binge eating, or you stick to a low calorie diet and then you fall off on the weekends, or your social circle is heavily influencing your ability to say no to alcohol and drinks, you want to start there. Look at your habits and think, what's the first next step to make this easier to manage? An easy one for an example is when you go to the grocery store, don't buy all the cookies and biscuits and donuts, because if they're in your house and you go, I'm bored, I fancy a cookie, you're probably going to go and get it. And whose fault is that? Yours. So just understand psychology and your habits, and managing those is incredibly important. And to be honest with you, that's why my clients hire me in the first place, to help them manage the focus, accountability, and stay motivated so they don't drop off and fall off when they're on their own. Now we've got the psychological side of things out of the way. The most important thing to fix skinny fat, as I said in the beginning, we don't really want to do a cut and we don't really want to do a bulk, which means we need to pick something to do. And I always recommend starting with a recomposition first. There are 2 ways you can do a recomposition. You can eat at your maintenance calories and lift weights to to get stronger and obviously maybe do a little bit of cardio or any activity to burn excess calories and essentially try to gain muscle whilst losing body fat. Now, this can work, but after doing this for over 10 years with over 210 people now, I find it's not as definitive as having a slightly small deficit. Now, a lot of smart asses in the comments go, oh, that's still a cut, bro. Arguably, yes. I'm not going to say, oh, it's not a cut, because it is still kind of a cut. But when you think of a cut, what do you think? You think chicken, broccoli, and rice in a tub. You think 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories, super low calories, and you think loads of cardio, light weights, all that kind of stuff. And if you're massively obese, that can still work great, right? But if you're trying to lose body fat and keep and potentially gain muscle, that deficit is going to be too big. The activity is not going to build any muscle and you might lose it, especially if you're skinny at the start. So if we have a smaller deficit, we're going to retain more muscle and prevent our bodies from going catabolic, which is when your body uses proteins for energy and actually can eat away in muscle tissue if your calories are too low or your activity is too high. So a smaller calorie deficit is going to prevent muscle loss. If the protein's higher and the calories aren't too low and you're training with significant overload, you can still tap into some newbie gains and still gain some muscles. And to be honest with you, that's exactly what we did with Reese. This is 12 months, but this is entirely one recomposition. And you might be thinking 12 months, that's a long time. Yeah, it does take a while. I'm not going to BS you. A lot of coaches out here will like go, hey, here's my mate on steroids. Here's his 6-year transformation, but I'm just going to put 6 weeks because it looks good. In fact, there's even a guy now who got caught using AI transformations. And then when he got questioned upon it, he was like, oh yeah, they're all on steroids. And I'm like, well, one, the fact he used AI is terrible. That's just awful. That means you can't get people in shape. And two, steroids isn't really a good excuse, because why would they need to hire a coach if you're just going to get them to blast steroids? What if you want to do it naturally and build a physique properly without all the BS? So it does take a while, but that's what we did with Reese. 12 months on the dot, recomposition. There was no bulk, and all this muscle gain was happened in a small calorie deficit. So to get these numbers right, so you don't mess them up, because this is genuinely the most important thing. And if you watch any of my videos, I always talk about it, because for me, I got stuck looking like this for 6 years. And then when I started tracking my calories and hit precise numbers and adjusted them, I was able to get my transformation. So to work out your numbers, use this free nutritional blueprint. It will tell you how to work out those numbers, how to set up your macros and what adjustments to make. You can use online calculators, but I've sort of refined this down to be specific for skinny fat. So go and grab that, it's free. It's in the bio or wherever that is. So once you've got your numbers, you need to hit them accurately. You can use MyFitnessPal and track it. You can use any other app as long as it's accurate. Or if you want to be really boring, you can do a meal plan. You can get your calories, go, all right, 2,500. How many times do I eat a day? Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Okay, so that's 2,500 divided by 3 meals. Easy. And then make those 3 meals, stick to that meal plan. Do it long enough to get the results, and then maybe make those portions slightly smaller as and when needed. But I do find that if you track and plan ahead, it's a little bit more manageable when it comes to adjusting the food. What I do with my clients is I give them their targets, they track their foods, and then I will review what they've eaten and make some adjustments for them. And to be honest with you, one big thing that people overlook is they track it and assume it's correct, and it could be wrong. You might track a bag of rice and it might say 100 grams, but is that 100 grams dry or is it 100 grams cooked? And this is where people go wrong with their calories. So do your due diligence. It's a bit of a tongue twister, because if you just wing the diet, your body's going to look like you're winging the diet. The diet is so painfully important. You could kind of train like shit, which I'm sure you've seen this. People in the gym training like absolute asshole, but they look great. And that's a lot of the times because they're dialed in with their food, or they just got good genetics. So manage your food precisely. That is going to be the biggest thing you can do to fix skinny fat. And the reason it's so precise for skinny fat is, like I said, we don't want a massive deficit where we lose muscle and size and strength. And we don't want to be, too much at a surplus where we're gaining fat and not muscle. Slightly small deficit paired with getting stronger in the gym, and it's precise. So you're actually tracking it and actually hitting it. That's how these transformations got done so quickly, so precisely. With no drugs, none of these guys even took creatine. There's nothing wrong with creatine, but this is just pure, just in the gym doing the basics. No faff, no microbiomes, or fucking worrying about the glycemic index, or playing around with butthole winks or whatever. So mentality is the most important thing before you start. Getting your calories set up properly is absolutely essential. And then thirdly, arguably, you probably thought this is the most important step, but I'd say it's probably the least important, and that's the training. And I can't believe I'm saying that, because obviously you have to train to build muscle and look good, but you can train all you want. And if you're skipping the gym and your food's crap, you're just going to look the same. Nothing's going to change. And when it comes to the training, I cannot encourage you enough to be simple with your workouts. So many people watch hours of YouTube and go, right, I'm going to do this version, that version. I used to buy influencer workout plans and look back at it now. I'm like, what the hell is this? Some of them are like, here's version A, here's version B, but then there's version A1 and A2. And it's like, okay, so I've got 7 workout plans I have to periodize over the next 7 weeks. This one's too much volume. That's going to take 2 hours. My gym doesn't have half this equipment. What the hell is this? And then I realized that if he just said, hey, pull push legs, bro, or upper body, lower body, bro, I would have been like, give me a refund, right? So fitness people have to make things up to make it new and interesting, whereas the bottom line is the absolute basics work. I'll use Reese, for example. He did a 3-day training split. It was pull push legs. We did this for about 4 months until we started to notice that his shoulders were lacking. You know, his biomechanics, his shoulders are quite narrow, his arms are long, so pressing movements weren't his forte. So then we added a 4th workout, which was predominantly focusing on shoulders, and then we dialed back his push workout to be a bit more chest and tricep focused. That's what you do over time. You don't just try and do everyone's workout plan or follow the gimmicks online or follow what some dickhead on Instagram's doing. You do the basics, see what's not working, and then adjust it around you and your genetics in your body. My chest is terrible, right? It's absolute dog poo. So my workout plan is heavily chest focused, and I do a little bit more niche movements to my chest to build up the lower areas, whereas most people don't need to do that. So everyone is different. So what I do with my clients is we start with a basic routine, we analyze their progress, and then we make adjustments based on the genetics. That sounds complicated, but it's really not. I would encourage you, if you can do 3 days per week, do pull push legs, which is, you know, all your pull muscle groups. So back, biceps, traps, whatever, forearms if you want to chuck them in. Then push, chest, shoulders, triceps, and then legs, lower body, hamstrings, quads, calves, glutes, whatever. Hit everything nice and even. 3D, I like to call it. So you do a vertical wide grip, you do a vertical close grip, you do a horizontal close grip, you do a horizontal wide grip. One of every angle that's necessary. Track them, track your reps and your weights, and then over the next 6 weeks, have you improved the reps or weights? No? Cool. Maybe increase the weight, maybe add some reps. Or maybe you've already plateaued because you've been training for a while, so you might need to change the movement, or you might need to change the rep scheme, maybe a 5x5. Either way, keep it simple, track it, and you'll clearly see what needs to be adjusted. Every single week, I will review my clients' workout plans to make sure that everything's progressing. Some guys don't need an update for a while. They just keep adding reps and weights because their training's going really well and their food's dialed in. Whereas some guys might plateau in 4 weeks and we need to make an adjustment. Everyone's different. We all have different genetics, but this is the simple, basic foundations of building a physique and fixing skinny fat. So let's recap. We want to make sure we manage our habits and mentality so we stick to the gym. If something's making it harder, you need to find a way to make it easier. Is the commute to the gym too long and it's getting in the way? Cool, maybe train at home or find a more local gym. If you're busy, don't let that be an excuse. You could do a 20-minute home workout with body weight movements or invest in some dumbbells. You can't make excuses and have results. So if you find yourself making excuses, which is a normal human thing to do because we always want the path of least resistance, find a way to make things easier for yourself. Pack your gym clothes and your work stuff so when you go home, you can go to the gym a lot easier. Carry that momentum, because we all know if you get home from work, you sit down on your ass, you're going to find an excuse not to go. Or like I like to do it first thing because otherwise I won't have time. So make sure the mental side of things is managed, and if you struggle with that, review why. Secondly, we must get the calories right. I think this is the most important thing, to be honest with you. I know it's the mentality, but you have to get the numbers right. Use my nutritional blueprint to get those numbers right, track them and see where you end up. If you ain't losing half pound to a pound per week, lower the calories ever so slightly, make sure your protein's high. It's that simple, we just need to do it. And then last but not least, your training needs to be focused on strength and muscle overload rather than just cardio, because if you just do cardio, you will go catabolic and lose muscle tissue. So keep your limited energy for getting stronger in the gym and track those workouts to ensure that's happening. If you do those 3 things and you remain consistent and you avoid the shiny object syndrome and you kind of get out of your own head with the body dysmorphia, like, oh, I feel skinny or I feel massive, or blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this, to be honest with you. It sounds simple on paper and it is that simple really, but there's this kind of, you start and you think it's going to be easy, then you realize it's hard, and then you doubt yourself, and then you look around going, oh, it's got to be an easier way, and then you've got to keep going and going and going until you get to the top, and that's where you get the transformation. That's why people hire me as a coach, because they need the mental navigation, they need the clarity, they need the support, they need the accountability. I've had clients that have had amazing transformations and they go away on their own and they're like, no, I really want the help. We need reminding, we need readjustment, we need focus, we need accountability as humans. So some guys can stick to it and get it done on their own, but if you've been trying to lose body fat and fix skinny fat for a while and just don't seem to be getting anywhere fast, then maybe you will benefit from my one-to-one help. And if that's the case, you can book a call with me down below. I don't always have spaces. It is me. It's not AI. I don't have a team. It's just me, because it needs to be that level of one-on-one to get the result, in my opinion. So if there are spaces, you will find that below. Book a call and see if I can help you out. And if you want to learn more about fixing skinny fat, I've got some more videos about that here, because I like fixing skinny fat. It's one of my little fun hobbies. Fun fact. I also like colognes, and I've got way too many. So if you want to, tell you what, if you watch the video this long, should I do a clone? No, I'm not going to do a clone channel. Anyway, subscribe, like, comment Apple for the algorithm as always, boys, and have yourself a Merry Christmas.